The Charity Shop Detective Agency by Peter Boland, narrated by Zara Ram. This book has lots of 4 and 5-star reviews, so clearly I'm in the minority, but I found this tiresome. Before getting into the plot, I will say that I thoroughly enjoyed Zara Ram's narration, although she mispronounces nonagenarian twice. I had to rewind it the first time as I just didn't understand her. She pronounces it as non-a-genarian, as opposed to nonagenarian. I was thinking, what's an agenarian? Aside from that, though, she's great and really brings all of the characters, even the secondary ones, to life. The book starts off well, and I initially enjoyed it a lot. A serial killer is targeting elderly residents in the sleepy seaside town of Southbourne, leaving a single clue behind, a domino with a name scratched on it in each victim's hand. When 86-year-old Sarah Brown is found dead in her hallway by her delivery man, the local charity shop volunteers, Fiona, Sue, and Daisy, are devastated and determined to find justice for their favorite customer. The 3 women, who volunteer at Dogs Need Nice Homes, decide to form the Charity Shop Detective Agency to investigate the murders themselves. Because of course they do. And the idea of 3 elderly women from a charity shop forming a detective agency to solve these murders did seem original, although perhaps taking inspiration from Robert Thorogood's The Marlow Murder Club or Robert Osmond's Thursday Murder Club. Would I have enjoyed this more if it had been called the Charity Shop Murder Club? But I digress. As I said, while I initially liked this audiobook, as the minutes became hours I liked it less and less. The pacing is all wrong, and I can't say that the women seemed realistic. It's hard to put my finger on. They just seemed off. In the Marlow Murder Club, they felt more well-rounded. With 3 hours to go, I put it on 1.5 times speed. However, as their investigations proceed, it just becomes increasingly ridiculous, and with 1 hour to go, I put it on 2 times speed. That was the first book I ever put on 2 times speed, but it was so tedious. Peter Boland repeats the same things over and over, but what's worse is that he over-explains things, or at least the characters do. In some reviews I read, the phrase show, don't tell appear, and I must agree, Peter Boland can't stop telling, with repetitive reinforcement of character traits and plot points. There was a whole chapter on debating whether to call the police. It was torture. The book is easily 3 hours too long. The characters stumble from one possible suspect to another with very little logic to their thinking. There's no logic, in fact, but there is a lot of explanation. A lot of it. It's hard to get involved in the plot when you know for sure it's not that person. One suspect in particular gets lots of ink wasted on them. In the Marlow Murder Club, there's a police detective the trio can bounce their ideas off, although obviously their interventions are not always welcomed. But in this book there's none of that, and the police that do feature are the incompetent stereotypes we've seen before. I think the book would have benefited from a more professional hand in the women's investigations. This is the first in what seems like it will be a series. There's already a book 2, which is 12 hours long. I can guarantee that it is probably 5 hours longer than it needs to be, and I certainly won't be going near it. Several of the reviews I've read compared this unfavorably with the Thursday Murder Club. For me, however, the books are on a par because I thought that one was particularly poor. It took me 5 attempts to read it, and in the end I turned to the audiobook version. For me, this is more similar in characteristics to the Marlow Murder Club, and it comes off poorly in comparison. In saying that, I stopped reading the Marlow series after book 3 as the books became increasingly stupid. Would I listen to another book written by Peter Boland? No. Would I listen to another book narrated by Zara Ram? Definitely, she's excellent. All in all, I'd give this book a 3 out of 5 and the narrator a 5 out of 5. How about you? Have you read this book? What about the Thursday Murder Club or the Marlow Murder Club? What did you think of them? Have you watched the TV adaptations? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe as I release a new review every week. Thanks for watching.